Hey, and welcome to the Heuristics podcast. This is Kobe Ben Melech. This episode is about online dating. Actually, the online dating apps. Oh man, uh, I'm such a dinosaur. Did I just call it online dating apps? Anyway, I met my wife in 2010, so I know very, very little about this stuff. So to help me through the morass, I spoke with Rosalie Korper. She is one of my favorite people in the world, and I think you'll notice that in our conversation. She spent several years on dating apps until she recently found a serious boyfriend. And just to give you some background about her, she's in her mid 30s. She lives in Amsterdam, and she is one of my wife's dearest friends. So you'll probably figure out what I think about the dating apps pretty soon into the discussion. I get that that's the way it works these days. That's how a lot of people are finding dates and even serious relationships. But and it even sounds weird, I think, for me to have a my get off my lawn kind of moment at the age of 37. But really, to my eyes, the online dating world looks like a dumpster fire that everyone is just happily jumping into. And it also just made me think about how many companies today are founded to solve, well, bullshit problems. In any event, I had a lot of fun talking to those, and I hope you enjoyed as well. How do you feel?
Weird.
Weird, huh?
It's also so weird to hear yourself so loud, kind of with nothing around it.
Now you know how all of us feel.
I'm sorry.
The benefits of someone that mumbles, right? It's like they're never gonna complain that I'm too loud,
No, I'm just used to everyone saying I'm loud, so it's fine.
No, but that's your signature,
Yeah, thanks.
You know what though? But better to have something that is memorable, don't you think,
True,
than to be fucking bland.
true,
You know?
true. That's what people know me for.
No, we know you for other things too, but like it's like you have this booming voice. It's like
Sure,
okay,
she's there.
Rose is in the room.
That was when we did our final exams in high school and we got our diplomas. Everyone had this little speech from the I don't know the head of the school or whatever, and my everyone had like a really nice speech and a thing, and for me it was just like Rosalie, um, je was eigenlijk bijna nooit op school, maar als je er was, dan wist iedereen het meteen. Okay.
And I'll translate that briefly, which was Rose, you Rosalie, sorry, you were not never really in school,
Yeah,
but when you were there, we all noticed.
exactly.
Right, right,
They
right.
all knew right away
Were you really that kind of a person in high school?
that I wasn't there, that I was loud.
Also, also, yeah,
Both, yeah.
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 In
Yeah.
what way?
I was lazy, very lazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was just,
you didn't go to school.
I did go, but I was often late, or then I was just almost like asleep in class and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I was
Really?
just really lazy. I didn't do anything for school. I also just, that's why I did like a lower level than I actually could have because I didn't
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah.
So, yeah, I was quite lazy.
When you think about that, do you think it's the fault of the teachers? It's like they weren't stimulating you the right way.
No, I don't think so. I actually, looking back at it and also seeing how other people were educated, I really think that the education that we got in our high school was very good. It
It's
was
very good.
really high quality, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was it. I was just a teenager. I was bored. I didn't want to do anything. I was lazy. I just wanted to sleep and
Funny. Do you ever have moments? Do you remember moments where you're thinking, "Wow, like I'm so excited to learn in this class"?
I think mostly in the classes and the subject that I was good at, that I was best at,
Which was what?
usually English.
English?
Yeah,
English.
yeah, English.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because we were watching Cartoon Network since I was like 4.
You mean you were
And
good at English like relative to other people, or you were just
yeah,
legitimately good at expressing yourself in English?
no, no, compared to other people.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Not but your English is fantastic.
thank you.
I suppose also. Well, it's of all the friends of Duff.
right, that I've met,
Yeah.
your English was always the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. But like by a noticeable margin.
And I don't know what it is. I do really think that it's TV that we watched a lot and
Don't-
no, honestly, seriously. But it was always just funny to see that I never really understood why other people then didn't have that same level because weren't they watching that as well?
Yeah.
Like I never got that, but
What did you watch?
Dexter's Lab.
What?
Don't know that?
What is Dexter's Lab?
They're all cartoons, right? So Cartoon Network, we
Yeah.
watched it all day.
Okay.
Dexter's Lab,
Who's we?
me and my brother.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Funny. So you guys shared the TV.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was one TV in the house.
No, but like you can imagine shifts or something. But you guys devised a system where you agreed on what you guys were gonna watch.
Yeah, because I think that for kids, a thing like that, like cartoons or something, that's
Yeah.
just something that you'll all like or whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
better
but
than
we had two TVs in our house.
yeah,
One in my parents' bedroom, which was
yeah,
like
off limits.
right or super special.
Yeah,
And then there was one in the living room.
Yeah.
That we all had access to.
yeah.
And there were three of us. And I don't remember, like, I was really into sports. I don't remember watching sports with my sisters.
So did you have like the discussion of like, now it's your turn or now it's your turn?
It was like an unspoken code of we have shifts.
Yeah, yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
it's like nighttime is the baseball game.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah,
get to
yeah,
get it, and then
Yeah.
or whatever. Monday nights is Lord
Oh,
knows
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
I'm making
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
up. I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
remember exactly, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't actually remember how that went, but I think it was just very natural because it was something that we both wanted to watch, or maybe I thought I wanted to watch it and I was just what he wanted to
Yeah.
watch, and so I just joined.
but you
Same.
liked it.
I liked it. Yeah,
were
yeah,
into
I
it.
liked
Okay.
it. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
And from that show, your English blossomed.
Oh yeah, for sure. For Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, like all of these Powerpuff Girls, all of that stuff. Yeah, definitely.
How old were you?
I think like 6 or 7
Oh,
when
okay,
I
okay,
started
okay.
watching that, and then
Because I have a vague sense of what Powerpuff Girls was, and that's like some.
old.
Is it no? But it has this sort of like Asian cartoon type feel, right? Like the
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's all yeah, maybe I don't even know where it's from, but like yeah, these are all I don't know if they're American, but I'm assuming that Dexter's Lab was.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo for sure was.
Right. And also the American cartoons, if I remember correctly, and like they were also a little psychotic, right?
Yeah.
Like they had that kind of
Yeah.
vibe to it, or
Yeah, definitely.
screaming characters doing all sorts of
Always.
wild stuff. Yeah.
Always. Yeah, 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 definitely. Yeah, it's very different from the cartoons now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
different. But I loved it and it was fun to watch it. And yeah, it really improved my English, I guess. I don't know, but there were also like words that you knew from there and that later on I was just always so impressed like wow, I know something that like even an adult doesn't know, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I just always remember this was like the best moment of
Yeah.
my entire school career that we were in history class and our history teacher was always showing us these drawings, historical drawings or whatever.
Yeah.
And one was I don't even remember what it was about, but it had this thing about like bullet or ballot is what it said.
Okay.
And I don't even know what it's about. And someone was like, she was explaining what it meant, and she was like, yeah, so it means that you have to the people don't get their own choice about what they can do actually. And I'm like, okay. And someone said, so what is ballot? And she's like, yeah, that has to do with. And she said something completely wrong. I don't remember. And I said, a ballot. I think that's the thing you use if you're voting, and so where you write what you want to vote. And she's like, no, that's not what it is. No. And I'm like, okay. And at that moment, our English teacher walked by, and she said, here, let's check. And he came in, and he's like, what's a ballot? He's like, it's the thing you use for voting. And everyone was
Boom.
like, oh. So
You
yeah,
showed up the teacher.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Loved
So that explains two things, like the kinds of cartoons that you watched,
Yeah, I guess.
were these sort of crazy loud characters.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
you, right, in
Yeah.
school, right? And second, like, no wonder it was your favorite. You got to show up the fucking teacher.
Yeah. Yay! One thing I can do. Whoop whoop.
No. But you know what I mean. It's
No,
like,
for sure, for
who
sure.
does that
Yeah.
in high school?
Not a lot of people. Well, some people in our high school. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That what they showed up the teacher?
Oh yeah. People were, I mean, not rude, but it was a very small high school and
Yeah.
small classes.
Yeah.
And everybody knew everyone, so it wasn't very, the hierarchy seemed, I think, a little bit different from normal high schools, I guess, because everyone just knew each other. Like this history teacher, that was the mom of a boy in our class. Like we knew her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. So
But still,
had a
like,
different connection maybe with teachers as well.
I meant it more as like not to disrespect,
No.
because you were in this case you were right.
Yeah.
Right. You actually knew what a ballot meant,
Yeah.
and your teacher didn't.
Yeah.
And you stood your ground, and you're like, bring in the others.
Bring them in.
Right. So, did that happen a lot? That's what I meant by showing up your teachers.
Yeah,
Like calling them out on their bullshit.
Yeah, I think that happened relatively more than in a normal high school.
Wow.
Yeah, I
So your
think so.
teachers are a bunch of fools.
I
Apparently.
mean, yeah, I think they had
this
it
is
tough
happening
with
all the
us.
time.
So tough. Like, ask, some of our friends that we know.
Yeah.
For sure, they'll have stories, and you'll be in awe.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that do to your sense of to your relationship with authority in that sense?
It's slim to non-existent. Yeah. I don't know. I guess it just shows me there's more equality than there is for other people or something. Like we're all equal. I understand you're a teacher, and sure, I'll listen, but also you're just a human being, so shut the fuck up and listen to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that has been the same for my entire life. Like whatever where I work, I don't care that you're the CEO. Fine, you're also a person. I can talk to you. I'm allowed to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I'm in my high school it was a bit more top down, top heavy. Like
Yeah.
we obviously we showed up our teachers in a disrespectful way, but to show up at the chemistry class or something and be like, actually no, that equation doesn't balance that way, and prove the teacher wrong. That never happened.
No. No, that happened. That happened for sure. I mean,
Wow.
my brother is also a great example of this. Like he was often asked to help out with things, like for computers and stuff. He's
Yeah.
a super computer nerd, and then the teachers that were giving us computer lessons, and then he's like, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, it happened.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe.
But computers is that's unfair, right? Because that's like a new subject, and it favors
Sure.
the young, and it favors the people who get
That's
their hands
true.
dirty, right?
That's true.
Like I remember the computer teachers we had;
For sure, but
they were pretty
still-
limited, I think.
No, but like you're saying, like showing up in a chemistry class and saying, "Hey, that doesn't add up," or whatever. Maybe you're a chemistry expert, and maybe you're super, super smart at that. So
The trouble is that there's no video games in chemistry. You know what I
no,
mean?
true. That's true. Totally.
Doesn't favor the young. I
No,
don't think.
no. Nothing else does. No, nothing else. Does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a boyfriend.
Yes.
This is my transition material.
Yeah. Yeah. I do.
Look at that smile.
Shut up.
No, I won't.
I do. It's the disclaimer of the episode.
Dirk.
Derek.
Does he know? Does he know that like when he and I meet, I'm gonna tear him a new asshole?
No, I told him you're very nice.
Wrong.
But I also told him that you're very critical and that you have been asking a lot of questions. Yes.
Is he?
He knows.
Yeah.
It's from a good heart.
Should I talk to him about God on the first day, on the second day? Like, what do you think?
No.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fuck him up. I'm gonna
Yeah,
fuck that
it's
guy
okay.
up.
He can take it.
He's gonna be in a fucking Catholic church the next day after talking to me.
No, he can take it for
Yeah?
sure. Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good.
He'll be fine.
So you think that he'll I mean you've tested him out with your friends, right?
Little bit, yeah.
And
Yeah,
is this
different.
weird? Is this weird to talk about it like in this kind of a setting?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
it's fine.
Yeah. Dirk, I'm coming for you, Dirk.
Yeah. No, not so many friends have met him yet. We haven't known each other for very long. So,
Yeah.
but I think one thing that is very helpful is that his best friend and my best friend are a couple,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we met as well. So,
Yeah.
with them, like, it's really
Mm.
nice to see how that goes, you know. So,
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with them. Yeah, and other people that have met him have liked it as well, I think. And yeah, people loved it. So yeah, I love it as well. So
Yeah. Well,
that's the
so
most important thing.
remind me again. It's been 2 months.
Yes.
2 months, and
Yeah.
I get these updates from Duff, your best friend, my wife. Um, and you're it's so lovely because you're so corny. You know,
Yeah.
you've turned into such a cornball.
Such an asshole.
Oh, it's so great.
All the assholes I hate.
No, it's
Yeah.
so good. It's so good. I'm waiting for you guys to get matching T-shirts. Like
Yeah.
you're halfway there.
And we
you know?
already have matching sweats.
You have matching what?
Sweats.
You're joking.
No, but I gave it to them because I gave them to him because they are from work. So, and I had 2 pairs. So, yeah. Do you love that?
It's the greatest. It's the
Yeah.
greatest. It's really the greatest. Like you guys are already taking boat trips together.
Yeah.
You know, this is what 60-year-olds do. I love it.
But
It's great.
it's so nice. I love sailing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like it's so much better. Let's be honest. It's so much better than going to a fucking bar. And you know, like you actually get to talk to someone that you really really care for,
Yeah.
just that person,
True.
right? And then you get to find out another like you get to dig a little deeper into their personality, into their history, into their stories.
Yeah.
It's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, it's super nice. And yeah, it's also definitely fun to go out to a bar and go out for dinner and stuff. But and I definitely want to do a lot of that as well. But this is really fun at the beginning.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also like you have that you've got that chilled atmosphere, right? Where
Yeah.
you're in the water and it's quiet. It's just the two of you, and you brought some snacks, and I'm assuming that like it's a 5-hour event from start to finish, right?
This was like 3.5 or something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. A while.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a third on the boat, which is the dog. So that she loves to take a little bit of the attention sometimes, but not all of it.
Competition, huh?
Yes, big competition. But me and the dog came into his life almost at the same time. So yeah, difficult.
Yeah. Duff told me that you got annoyed like that. This is the level of corniness that I love. That you got annoyed with him that he that the dog took a piss in your hallway and he didn't clean it up because he's too lazy. It's like
No.
amazing stupid husband moment right there. Love it. And he was probably like, oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sorry next time, right?
Well, for the record, yes, I was annoyed because no, I'm not. I'm actually not a dog person, and I'm really getting used to it. And I love this dog, and I love this man. But for the record, I had gotten up very early to go for my workout, and so I had no time. And then he went to walk the dog, and then the dog peed on the carpet in my building. And he came back. It's like, yeah, she peed in the hallway, and I'm like, oh, clean it up. And then he said, yeah, sure. And then he had his coffee first, and then he went and cleaned it up, which is definitely not what I would do. But he went and he cleaned it up, and it was great. And so thank you. Yes. And it was very early, and I
Yeah.
had to go to my workout.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I was annoyed.
Well, I'm gonna hear you tell that story like 5 years from now,
Oh, for sure.
right?
Because it's gonna happen over and over and over again.
We'll hear your version of that story 5
Yeah.
years from now.
Yeah.
And this is like okay, so to get to the topic of what I wanted to talk to you about and what we wanted to talk about a while ago was online dating. Like this is night and fucking day, I imagine, for you.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Uh,
No?
yeah, fuck that shit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's very, very different. I'm very happy that I don't have to be on an app right now, swiping right and left and trying to get a conversation started and
Oh,
seeing if someone is slightly interested or not and waiting or not or
it's a
seeing
lot of
someone or not.
mental energy, like, in front of a screen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's just so tiring and I don't know, I think that a lot of people think that it can be fun, but if you're really doing it to really try to get something out of it, then yes, it's
Yeah,
a lot of energy. It's
yeah,
energy draining, right?
yeah.
Until, of course, you get that one person that you match with and you have a really nice conversation with, and then it gives you energy, obviously. But
Yeah.
that is usually the minority, from my experience.
What do you mean by the minority? Like, what percentage of conversations were actually
One.
1%?
Yeah.
1% of your conversations on dating apps
Yeah.
were like, oh wow, I'm actually into this person.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
What was the other
I'm
99%?
into this person and that person has some nice banter and you're actually talking about something versus um hi, how are you doing? How is your weekend?
Yeah,
Great. Cool. Silence.
and that's it, and then the conversation's over.
Often.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so even in that, there's probably a little built-in like um little jump of hope, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this might be something, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh, it's so boring, so boring,
So
so boring,
boring.
death,
Yes. Yes.
over.
Exactly that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it. And that's why I think it makes a big difference. Sure, it's really who's on the other side, but it's also a very big difference of how you start the conversation, right? This is what we were laughing about with your wife when she was like, "Oh, it's really how you do it and what's your opening line and
Mm,
stuff." And
mm,
it's like,
mm.
"No, let me try, let me try." And then she opens with an hi. And it's like, "Sure, you're very professional. This is not how it starts. You cannot have a conversation with a hi. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't start anywhere."
yeah.
But like it's how the conversation starts, but also if someone keeps it going, right?
So okay. I've been thinking a lot about this stuff, and I think you tell me if you think differently, but I think the experience of being on these online dating apps, like this is the way a grandfather talks, but I met off before this shit happened.
Yes,
So
on those
on
devices,
on the internet, yeah,
on the interwebs. Yeah.
HTTP.
Yes.
Um, it must be different for men and for women than it is for women on
Yeah.
this thing, and so it favors men, I think, because you've you've basically said to them, you no longer need to rely on on location, right? Or like whoever's nearest to you. You can just the world's yours. So as far out as you want to go, like you can meet someone in the next town if you have to, which is like impossible before I don't
Yeah.
know, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
right? Which is great. And then it's like it opens up the pool, and then you can have I don't know 10 conversations with women ongoing at the same time to varying degrees. And it really does feel like these apps were made by guys who treat women like numbers, right? And want to put in as little effort as possible into
Yeah.
be presenting themselves as attractive to women.
Mm-hmm.
It's if you put a couple pictures up, me and a dog, me and a I don't know what.
Selfie in a mirror, me fishing, me
right,
with a surfboard.
right.
Me.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Right, I've never used any of these apps. Well, I did use not the apps, but I was on dating sites
Oh yeah.
in the early 2000s.
Really? Like a plenty of fish or something?
No. What's it? J Date, I think it was called.
J date is the J.
It doesn't
Right.
matter.
Yeah.
It was like a fucking pink website.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
we're talking a lot ancient history.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it does have that feeling that it's this is really in favor of men, these dating apps. And so if you broaden the pool of potential candidates
Hmm.
for men. You also you're pairing now strangers, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have any social circles in common anymore.
Yeah.
And they don't have then the people who can then vet that person and say this person isn't a psychopath. Is it a,
Right.
you know,
Right.
the way we used to do it was, and the way I did it was, I met Duff, I pursued her, and I sort of asked around her friend groups, like, is she
Exactly.
interested
What
in
is this
me? What
girl?
can I
Yeah.
do? How, am I in the right direction?
Yeah.
And they probably were reporting back to her and saying, yeah, he's actually genuine. He's interested. That doesn't that's gone
Yeah.
when you're talking to someone that's 20 minutes away from you and no clue who this person is.
Well, that is funny that you say that. That is partially true, but
Mm,
um, also, and I think, I mean, I have not been on the dating apps here, but I have also spoken to some people that live here and have been, like Kati, for instance. Like
yeah,
she has also told me that is basically the same as how I experience it. Like I have some single friends that are also on the apps, right?
yeah.
And so when I was on those apps, like I met a guy, blah blah blah. And then my friend is now on the apps and she's like, "Oh, I'm talking to a guy, really nice." And she sends me a screenshot of whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, I know that guy. I went on a date with him." So yeah, that
Oh,
happens because it's always the same singles, right? So it
oh,
is that pool, but it's not a friend of yours that you know,
right, right,
but
right,
it could be someone that you
right,
also met on that app.
right. But that still though means though that the guys that don't act nicely, um, they can still get away with it a little bit easier,
Easier.
right?
Yeah.
Because the women don't necessarily, they might talk to each other, but they might not,
True. And you
right?
might not know. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
True.
like you don't really pay a price, to just have a horrible conversation or not really putting any effort into it, or
True.
take someone out on a date and get their hopes up and then just be
Yeah.
like ghost them and fuck this.
There's very little loss
I
if
got I
you
got what I wanted. I'm out of here.
yeah, I think there's very little loss for men that have that as the intention.
Yeah.
But I mean, what you're saying, yes, but I also want to take the side of men that are okay. I mean,
Yeah.
and there definitely are guys out there that either are looking for something serious
Yeah.
or they're not, but they're and your wife will hate me for saying that, but they're very honest about it. And I think then you'll know right away, right? So
Yeah.
um there's also those guys. So is that a bad intention? I'm not like
Yeah.
not always a bad
Yeah.
intention, but
Yeah.
different intention maybe.
I guess though.
If a woman is looking for that and not also just to hook up or whatever.
Right. 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 Which is fine, obviously, but I think also to you still run into the problem of you're being treated as a number, right? Like
Sure.
when you're talking to these guys, right, who state openly, look, I'm not looking for anything serious.
Yeah.
I really want to have sex.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Yeah.
They say it in their own manner. Some of them are more blunt than others, right?
Sure.
You must be, I guess, right, thinking that how many other people is this guy? How many other women is this guy talking to
Yeah.
besides me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, it's not a question. It's
Yeah.
you kind of know it. Yeah.
It's so, and then it just becomes like, what is it? Like it's a transaction? Like what? It's so.
Yeah, so I guess that for some people that's okay if that's what they're looking for as
Yeah.
well, then totally fine, right? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, then why not? But if that is not what you're looking for, then the question is, do you want to keep going with that? Do
Yeah.
you want to
Yeah.
not, like yeah. And I think in general that there's a lot of women that just really like the attention. And
Yeah.
so it's just like, well, okay, but let's see where it goes. Maybe,
Yeah.
da da da, whatever.
And especially in a time like COVID, right, when you couldn't
Yeah.
see anyone, and
Yeah.
how amazing is it to just have some affection and some love, some
Exactly.
attention.
Yeah.
The problem is though if it gets confused with what some or maybe most women are after, which is companionship, right? Like
Yeah.
love,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, not just women. I think most guys are
Sure.
after that eventually too. But if you incentivize guys to say like, look, there's a pathway now to to date as many, like it's a numbers game.
Sure.
Play the numbers game.
So easy. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think it's funny because I'm sure that there's also women that do that, right? So
What do you mean?
again, there's probably also women that are not looking for something serious and that just want to date around or fuck
Yeah.
around or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that they're out there as well.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think
I think the
that's
numbers though
more.
bear it out. I think it's something like the ratio is 9-1 or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Men to
I
women
would
on these
believe
apps.
that. Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
believe that. So yeah, that's true. But I don't know if I see it so black and white where it's so bad or something.
It's
As
not.
long as
It's not.
it's mm, honest, I guess. Or
Yeah.
but I also know that, for instance, one of the guys that I actually met on a dating app, and we went on a couple of dates, but he wasn't looking for anything serious. He was just recently divorced, blah blah blah, and he said that right away. Fine, it was fun, whatever. But I'm still in touch with him sometimes, and we just talk about kind of like both of our datings. So
Mm.
we were just talking about, oh, who did you meet now? Who did you meet now? Oh, yeah. And we just have a nickname for everyone that we meet. And it's like, oh, how's it going with this
Oh
dude? How's it
wow.
going with that girl?
So you're like kind of like his vetting committee.
Yeah, same.
It's
Yeah,
like you're
exactly.
really experienced at the online, so what kind of an online conversation is a good sign? What's kind of a bad
Exactly.
sign?
Exactly.
Whoa.
Like, but I think it's fun because we went on a couple of dates and we had a lot of fun. It was nice. He's a really nice guy, right? And it's really funny to have. I mean, that sometimes I come to you for like men advice or
Yeah.
whatever, but it's nice to have someone that knows how that works and like, oh, this is good, this is not good,
Yeah.
and actually knows that, right? I go
Right.
to Duff all the time. I go to whomever, but
Yeah.
no offense, she has no clue how that actually is or works, right? So, um, uh, so with this guy, for instance, it's like, oh yeah, so this guy, oh, what is he sending? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good, sounds good. Okay, when are you meeting? Okay, what are you doing? Oh, how long did you not hear from him? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Same with these girls. It's like, oh yeah, I'm meeting this girl, this girl, this girl. He sometimes has like 4 dates in a week, right? And I'm just like,
Wow.
yeah, it's super impressive. But
4 dates in a week
yeah,
with 4 different women.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait. In defense of Duff.
Yeah.
You could say, yeah, she has no clue what's going on with the apps. We're dinosaurs.
sure.
No doubt about it.
No,
However,
she knows.
no, it's yes, but she knows that we're still the same animals. You understand?
True. Very true.
And that never changes.
That
Well,
never changes.
it may, but not in one generation. You
No.
understand?
No. That is definitely true. That
Right.
is 100% true.
Right.
And that's why I always keep coming back to her because I know that her advice is good and she
Yeah.
wants the best for me. So
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is difficult to understand how it really is in a situation where you're on those apps. Like this
Yeah.
is what was the conversation, how we got started about talking about this, where we were in Amsterdam and
Yeah.
sitting on a terrace, and it was like, oh, can we go on your apps and
Yeah.
can I talk to someone?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, it's very clear. Like, you don't, she's swiping, she's opening every profile, she's looking at everything, she's reading the bio, she's looking at every single thing that he likes. Okay, climbing. I don't know if this is something for. This is not how anybody uses these apps. Like, nobody, you know?
That doesn't mean she doesn't have a point.
100% she has a point, and she is right about 99% of the time.
Well, there you go.
For sure. That's why I keep asking her. But it is nice to also sometimes get some advice from someone that knows how to use
I get
these
it.
things.
Yeah,
So.
and as you said, it's not black and white.
No,
It's not.
no,
It's really
not at
not
all.
black and white.
No, not at all.
And again, we just went through COVID, and
Yeah.
you kind of have to throw out the rule book a little bit there. You gotta relax a little bit with that shit, even
Yeah.
though you're playing with fire,
For sure.
right? Like at the end of the day, like it's your life, and these are deep, emotional, buttons that people are pushing. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But still, like, what are you gonna do? Like, be alone? Like, how else are you gonna meet someone?
Yeah.
Right.
No, there
When
was.
you can't go anywhere.
No, and I think that right now a lot of people are meeting each other through online apps or dating.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I read somewhere it's 40% of America
40%.
met their partner online.
Oh wow. Okay, that's
Yeah.
already a lot. I remember reading somewhere that by I think that they said that by 2040 they predict that 70% of people are finding each other on online dating. And it's also a little bit depressing to think about that, because how
Yeah.
nice is it not to have that? Because, I mean,
Also, think about the story they tell their kids or their friends in 20 years after the fact.
yeah.
It's a little.
You think? That's funny to me, because why do you think that?
How does the story start? There
The story,
the stories always start in some very strange fashion,
yeah,
and this is all standardized. I feel. Oh, we met on an app. Oh, we met on an app. Oh, he texted me. He sent me an emoji that was really funny. Oh, ha 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 ha. Ha.
yeah,
It's like what?
yeah,
Where's the serendipity? Where's the magic? Where's the I'm a person that was from this country and had this parents, and how the fuck did I end up with that other person, and he's
yeah,
come from a different background but not really the same kind of back whatever, right?
yeah. I think that's funny that you would say that. Where's the serendipity? Because I think the serendipity is not into, is it through that online app, or why is it more serendipitous? Do you say
Mhm.
that?
Mhm.
That you met in Opan. What's so serendipitous about that? It's like that's just the place where you had the first contact. Then it's like, oh, we went on a date and this is how we met each other. Like, this is
Okay.
how we are meeting. You know what I mean?
So let me get all romantic on you. Um so as you know, Daf, right? She was raised in Amstelveen, which is a little suburb in Amsterdam, and she grew up, as any European snob, thinking Americans are a bunch of idiots. They don't know anything. They don't know the fucking difference between the Netherlands and Denmark or whatever, right? And yet, of course, watching all the what is it, MTV Cribs and all that,
Sure.
obsessing about these things,
Yeah.
So she's a secret American lover,
Yeah.
Let's not get confused here.
No,
And
we all are.
okay, so she's Jewish and she comes from a traditional home, and um, her father is sort of academic and bookish and right, whatever. You know where I'm going with this, and she goes to Israel, right, and she's in the middle of a study program, right? She's in the middle of getting her second undergraduate degree, um, and she's there just for a year, right? She's I'm coming back. I'm going back to my country where it's easy and I know the rules and
Yeah.
I have all my network there and everything.
Yeah.
And she meets me, and I was a guy that was born in Venezuela. Somehow my luck, my parents decided early enough to leave Venezuela and go to Miami because they knew that's not a place for kids, and raised obviously in the Jewish
Community.
yeah, in the Miami, and again, not thinking I'd ever meet a single Dutch person in my entire life. Like, who are these people? You guys are like, in my imagination as a 7-year-old, you guys are just walking through cornfields all day. I have no
Sure.
idea what you people are, right? And by some luck, we both happen to hop on a plane and move to the country at the same goddamn time and leave everything behind. She was supposed to go back. She finds me, meets me,
Yeah.
and then we decide to stay together
Sure.
and build a life
Yeah.
in a different country.
Yeah.
That's a fucking story.
Yeah. It's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story.
Right.
Yeah. I love
As
it.
opposed to he sent me the poop emoji I don't know, on Friday night when I was feeling down, or I don't know, right?
No.
In other words, there's still something you can still extract beauty from those stories, right?
Mm.
Like there's a way to tell that story that's still, because at the end of the day, people get together and it's love, and it
Sure.
and it sustains itself over time.
Sure.
But something is lost, I think.
Yeah, I understand that you say that, and I think, sure, but that entire story that you just told
Yeah.
could have also been true with you guys not meeting in class, but being on an app and then saying, "Oh yeah, we're also going to
Mm.
the same open, by the way."
Mm-hmm.
No?
No, because we were in the same class.
Okay, but
Why the fuck would I use the app? She's sitting,
No, I
three,
understand,
three.
but suppose you would have never spoken to her and you would be in the same.
Here's the thing. Okay, I got it. Now, I got
Yeah.
it. Leading up to our first kiss, there were all sorts of awkward moments that I very strongly remember.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Me trying to make an impression on her.
Yeah.
I came up to her and I said, "Hey, do you like poffertjes?" Right?
Yeah.
Poffertjes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That little pancake thing
Yeah.
that you guys love. And I said it like 15 times.
Yeah.
How do you express that kind of ridiculous thing on an app? Like you've got to feel the person in front of you
Sure.
make themselves look like a goddamn fool.
Yeah.
And then say, "Oh, this person doesn't give a shit. Like
No.
he
No.
wants to get my attention, and
Yeah.
this is his dumbass way of doing that."
But where did you say that? When you were on a date?
No, this was before all that happened.
So where did you say that? In
In
class?
class, yeah.
Okay.
On a break.
Okay. Yeah.
It's different.
No, definitely. It's definitely different. And I mean, it's a beautiful story. And true, that is very different from that. But there are so many ways of meeting someone. And you are 100% right that I think meeting on an app is not the most exciting way and
Yeah. It's also
not the most fun.
it's there's an algorithm involved. Like
Yeah.
there's always an algorithm involved, but there's a very relevant. It's more relevant to the story than it is.
Yeah.
Normally speaking.
For sure. For
And
sure.
that kind of, I don't want to say cheapens it a little bit, but it takes away something, I think.
True. I think it does take away something. And I agree with you that it's not so fun to meet someone there, but I think that the story around it makes the story.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
that I know that there's people that are saying like, okay, if we met online or whatever, we need to make up another story. A lot of guys actually have that in their bio. Like, we'll make up I'll tell your mom we met at a coffee place or whatever. So it's like this kind of stuff because like people are. I mean, ashamed is maybe a big word, but it's not the coolest thing to say or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get that, but on the other hand, why? Like, why? This is just a normal way right now. Like, right now we are applying for jobs through LinkedIn. We are not going and handing in a letter anymore. Is that not cool enough?
You can change jobs.
You can change relationships.
But not the one that's going to last forever.
True. True. That's true. Some people...
I insist.
No, you can insist, and I agree. I completely agree with you. It's definitely not the most fun way, but I also don't feel that people should be like ashamed of it or whatever. And
no.
And I also think that even if you meet online on a dating app, like the click or the thing that makes it work or the romantic story, that comes up by itself, right? Like that.
Yeah.
So it can go all different ways. Like one of my old friends, she met her husband and now father of the third that is coming, also on Tinder.
Yeah.
But they knew each other way back when. Like their moms were apparently friends and they met each other when they were kids and whatever, but they never like hung out or whatever. Their moms just were friends and they knew each other very well. And she saw him on a dating app, whatever, same. They got to talking and then they went on a date and now they're married and having their third kid. So
that's cheating.
Why is that cheating?
Their moms knew each other.
So what? So what? I can go on a dating app and I can see someone. So it's funny that you would say that because Derek, my boyfriend, I met him actually 3 years ago for the very first time. It's a long story, but
I'm gonna ask you.
Our friend, his friend, through whom we met now, he's a brand ambassador for a rum.
Yeah.
And he gives these huge parties, which is where we met each other. But
this was 3 years ago.
Well, now.
No, okay.
But 3 years ago, he also had an event where he wanted to do like a video for a commercial video or whatever for the rum. And he needed a location, and Derek's parents live in an amazing house. It was a beautiful location, so he was able to film it there. and he needed some extras, let's say, for in the video. So he asked me and some of his girlfriend's friends back then to come over.
Okay.
So we went there, and Derek was actually there. So I met him 3 years ago, and I was in his parents' house. He gave me a tour of the house, like
Yeah.
whatever. So
Yeah.
I met him.
Mm-hmm.
I then saw him on an app later,
3 years ago.
like 2 years ago or whatever.
Okay,
I
okay.
saw him on an app,
Mm-hmm.
and I had swiped. We never became a match. But suppose we would have matched back then. Would it then not be fair either? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Why is it not fair? Like maybe I've seen you around sometime, or I've spoken to you and you're a friend of a friend or whatever, but I saw you on the app. We have a story from before the app, but
Right.
the app is what made us connect.
Okay. Fair point. That's a good one.
I don't know.
But it didn't happen. Ha
It didn't happen. But we did have something to talk about when we saw each other now, because I was like, I saw you before. And he's like, no, we didn't. You didn't. And I was like, I remember clearly being in your house. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about my little love at first sight
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
That's cool that you remembered him 3 years ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
And now you are serious relationship.
Yeah.
The two of you.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yes. It's very weird. But I mean, yeah.
People, I'm like a militant romantic at this point.
Yeah.
You know, I raised the theory of the first kiss. I love at first sight. And people, you know, they always fight me on this. They say no, it's sometimes love can grow gradually and
Yeah. Funny. Yeah. No.
But
Yeah.
you know, not every, but like most couples have a story.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is always like, I saw you that one time. You know, they remember the first time that they laid eyes on a person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Because we meet people all the time.
All the time.
And we don't remember the first time we met them. Even people that we hook up with, right? There's some people you hook up with, you don't remember the first time you saw them.
No.
You don't even remember the first kiss,
No.
right? Like those people are just gone from your memory.
Yeah. I don't even know their name.
Yeah. But some people, you know, it's funny that you mentioned this thing about that you saw Dirk.
Yeah.
Dirk?
Yeah.
Am I
Derek.
pronouncing it
Yeah,
correctly?
great.
Yeah, Duff kills me every time.
Not Derek.
There. So you saw him 3 years ago, and it made an impression on you. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, hello. I'm gonna note you.
Yeah.
You know. And I remember, the last girlfriend I had before Duff, I remember first laying eyes on her. She was at the back of a bus in some like youth movement thing. We were like 12 years old.
Yeah.
I remember I was like looking at her, I was like,
12.
oh, something like that.
Yeah.
You know? I was
Yeah.
like, oh, she's kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah.
she laid eyes on me. I can guarantee you she fucking remembers that moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. It happens.
Right?
Yeah.
What the hell is that? Why do I remember that?
I don't know if maybe I'm not such a romantic. I mean, I don't know. But like, I remember other people as well. Like,
Okay.
I remember meeting you for the first time.
Yeah, but look at
I mean,
us
I
now.
was in love with you.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
yeah.
hoping you would stay in my life forever. But no, I mean, I remember that very clearly. Don't you remember?
I remember, and it's weird though because the first time I actually met you was on Skype.
Skype, yeah.
Right. And
You
I
were
said,
cooking.
and I said something stupid to you. I don't know whatever
Sure.
it was, right?
Yeah.
Something obnoxious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna see
Yeah.
if she can handle it. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, for sure.
And you handle it perfectly. with
Yeah.
Grace, you know.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever,
I
shut
know,
up.
I know what you're up to. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to go through me first. No, for sure. But
So
no, that's
okay,
what
but
I'm trying to say. Like,
there are those special people. Like, I love you.
Yeah.
You know, not obviously in a romantic way, but I deeply, deeply love you.
Yeah.
And so of course I'm gonna remember the first time I met you.
Right. So you mean it can be you remember people that you have a special feeling for. It doesn't have to be a romantic feeling.
Well, it's strongest when it's romantically linked
Sure. Yes, 100%.
because that's a whole nother level,
Yeah.
right?
True. True. Yeah. True.
So okay, so tell me the first time you met Dirk.
The actual first time.
3 years ago, yeah.
So we were at his parents' house.
Yeah.
Our common friend Henk. Yes, it's all Dutch names. Um, it was then dating my friend Naomi for I think maybe a year or something,
Mm-hmm.
a little less. It
Mhm.
was very early on. And he was going to make a promotion video for his rum brand, where there was like it was a nice summer day and it was a picnic outside, beautiful tables with great linens and beautiful stuff. And it's a Filipino rum, so there was like Filipino lunch and dinner or
Yeah.
whatever. So there
Yeah.
was like an entire little pig on a roast and stuff, and
Okay.
really nice food. There was a cocktail shaker because obviously it's a rum thing.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. This amazing house. I was super impressed.
Mhm.
Beautiful, beautiful house.
Mhm.
Like one of those on cribs, basically. Beautiful garden in the front and also in the back where they had glass house and they had like a pond. And yeah, we were there and Derek was also there. I was talking to him for really a couple of minutes and then we were walking around the house because Naomi, my friend, was like, "Oh, they have this beautiful house. You have to see it. Look." And we were basically like showing ourselves around. And this super unimpressed dude with no very low energy is like, "Hey, hey, hey." Oh, hey, sorry, we're just like looking around your house.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. What
Yeah.
a great place. And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, it's a cool place. Yeah, cool place. And we're like, yeah, we really love it. And so Naomi is like, oh yeah, can we actually have a tour? Or he's like, yeah, sure. You want me to show you around? And so we
Mhm.
go around the entire house, and he tells us a little bit about stuff. There's a lot of art there. He studied art history, which at that point I obviously didn't know. I just
Mhm.
thought he knew about the art around the house.
Yeah.
And he showed us around. He was very clearly super like underwhelmed about the whole thing. And I think just hoping that it would end soon. And we're like, okay, well, thank you. And that's basically it. I
Right.
didn't talk to him at all or whatever.
Okay, but the amount of detail you just recalled
Yeah.
is spectacular. Like that, I'm in the room as you tell the story. I can almost picture him.
Yeah.
And I can like the signal that he sent to you was, I studied art history, but seriously, like it's not a big fucking deal, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm
Humble.
right. I'm into other things. Like
Yeah.
let's, you know,
Yeah.
all the trappings here. It's like it's nice. It's
Yeah.
really nice, but let's. I'm imagining like that's the signal that you got from a guy like that.
I think so. Yeah. That's how he is as well.
And that
Yeah.
shit fucking registered with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Look at the detail that you were
Yeah.
able to. It's like you just told me an entire. Was this in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Or at night? You just recounted an entire afternoon in like 2 minutes.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
How many people can you say that about? You know, the first time that you met them.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe not a lot, but some.
Yeah, and
Some.
who are those people? Friends, like dear friends.
Yeah.
I mean, not like people that you.
Not old
Right. When you're 2 years old, you don't remember.
No,
shit.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
No. But I think for some of my very close friends, yes, I do. I do remember how I met them
Yeah.
or what the situation was
Right.
very
And
well.
and those
Yeah.
are really special people in your life.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Maybe it's a little romantic. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to ask you to tell me the story again with the ice cream because I still don't understand what the hell was so. What was so. I still don't understand why this made me appealing. The way you tell it, it's like I am a dick.
You're not a dick.
No, but the way you tell the story, it's like I'm a selfish prick. So.
Oh, well, not to me. To me, you were the winner of the evening. So I think that also for people that don't know, I mean, so I've known Duff. I'm 35 years old. I've known Duff, your wife, for 34 of them, I guess.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And I've seen her with her exes, and I love, 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 love her to death. I would do anything for her.
But you would never live with her.
Never in my life, ever. And I've always been impressed with her boyfriends and with her relationships, and the way that she handles it. I think I have always looked up to how she can be so clear about what she thinks and what she wants, and how she wants it, which obviously sometimes is very challenging as well. But I think that is really a gift. But as an outsider and as someone not being able to do that, I also often think, Jesus Christ, if you're on the other side of that, holy fuck, I would die, right? Like, I don't want someone to tell me what to do or whatever, even if it's with the utmost best intentions ever.
Yeah.
And like I said before, 99% of the time, right as well. But yeah, so I've always been impressed with that. And she's had a lot of boyfriends that would do anything for her, like her friends as well, because she has that thing about her,
Right.
that people like to also help her and do things for her because she does the same. She
Right.
does everything for
Right.
anyone.
Right.
She's the most loyal friend you could wish for. But I also always thought, like, okay, from everyone, I think me and her, we can say anything to each other. We also called each other out on our shits. Like, okay, shut the fuck up. Take it fucking easy. Don't be such an asshole. Whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And I always would have loved to see that in her ex-boyfriends, boyfriends, whatever.
Yeah.
Which I never saw. And then you came along, and I thought I saw that. So on one of the first times that I ever met you in real life, we had a Shabbat dinner at Duff's place. You were there. We were there with some friends. I don't know. It was a great evening, and she was the hostess as usual, doing everything for everyone.
Yeah.
And dinner was over. We didn't have dessert. So the question was, does anyone want ice cream? And there's a really great ice cream place around the corner, Tamara, which almost everyone likes, especially all of those people that are coming from Holland that always go there. And so she's like, oh yeah, I want Tamara. I want it.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember if she was the only one or if there were multiple people.
No, and you're telling everyone wanted.
I think that most people wanted. Yes. There was one person that did not want, and that was you. You didn't want any. Everyone else, or the majority of the other people, did. So she said, okay, go get it, to you.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't want ice cream, so no, I don't think so. And this is when I was like, yes, this is the husband to be. This needs to happen forever. Someone said no to her. Oh my God, yes. And I also still don't remember how it actually ended, because I think that we ended up getting some, but I don't know who got it.
No. Okay, so my recollection is that she was the only one that wanted.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would be that bad. Like if everyone else wanted.
Yeah, true.
Okay. And you ask how it ended. It's never ended. I still hear this shit, you know?
You still have to get the ice cream.
Yeah. Oh, you won't do this for me?
Yeah. But you guys do everything for each other.
I try. Yeah. I mean, she's everything for me.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's my strength, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful to see.
Yeah. Like if I look back on where I was when we met and who I am today, it's night and day, and she
Yeah.
continues to extract the best version of myself.
Yeah.
And
Another
I
way
put that
around,
forward. I hope so.
for sure.
I hope so. I feel I always felt like she was a finished product.
Mm. True. I understand what you mean.
She had
Yeah.
her head straight.
Yeah.
She knew what she was doing,
Yeah.
and she saw my ass. She's like, all right, we can work with this.
Sure. Here's my next project. Yeah, exactly. No.
There's enough space on that donkey's back to make a good living, a good
Yeah,
life.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the story. The
Okay.
ice cream story.
So you saw a guy that was just gonna put her in her place when
When
time
needed.
comes. When he,
Yeah. Which you still do, I think.
I mean, it sounds
Both
harsh.
of you.
It sounds yeah. Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's not harsh.
Yeah.
It's just realistic. And I like
Yeah.
that. And that's why I love hanging out with you guys, because I just feel like I'm one of the adopted kids, because I'm around and it doesn't matter what's happening if you guys are in a fight or you're screaming to each other with, you're basically like killing each other. But a minute later, it's like the biggest love that I've seen in my life.
Yeah.
I love being around that. I'm
Yeah.
just like, that's okay.
So that's actually one of the things that she taught me. She taught me how to fight.
Yeah.
Because before that, I come from an honor culture, Latin people, so we just let that shit simmer and stew, and then
Yeah.
it just becomes this beast, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't talk, your mind is racing. What is that other person doing? What is that other person thinking? Oh, they have all this negative stuff and all these bad intentions toward me. And better to not let that happen. Just
Yeah.
get it all out right when the fight happens.
Yeah.
And be done with it and
Yeah.
then move on.
Yeah.
She taught me how to do that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a good thing to know.
and that's, I mean this seriously. Like that's redemption.
For sure.
She saved me from the depths of the worst part of my personality.
Yeah.
And that's so useful in life,
So useful.
right?
Yeah.
It's just
For sure.
let's fight and let's make peace
Yeah.
and let's move on.
Yeah. They should teach that in high school.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, obviously she learned that from her house, right?
Yeah.
Fucking screaming at each other all the time over there. We had screaming in our house, but it was of a different kind. It wasn't mutual, like it wasn't reciprocal.
No.
Right?
It
There,
was a
everyone.
monologue scream.
Yeah, there, everyone's screaming at each other.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So so these little signals that you pick up, it's hard to decipher what's going on online, like what kind of person it is, especially when you don't have those other people around you to vet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what were the tools? Like, take me back to the first time you were on the app, whatever app it was,
Oof.
on your phone.
That was a really long time ago.
Well, whatever.
So
Take me back to the early days.
The early days.
Did you know what you were doing?
No, I had no idea. And I was also very nervous about it because,
Really?
yeah, of course.
Why?
It's like you don't know what is happening and you don't know like what is normal or what is supposed to happen or what is, are you supposed to answer or is someone else supposed to answer? How long are you supposed to wait between?
Do you want to go without the earphones?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I remember like needing to figure it out after, the first time or the first couple of times. Let's see.
What do you mean? Like what were the first couple of times like?
I think the first couple of times were just disappointment.
Like it was a hi, hello, and then nothing, or
sometimes not even. So what happens a lot is just like you match and nobody starts talking.
Oh.
Right. So you're on there. You swipe either left or right.
Yeah.
Left is no, I don't like you. Right is yes, maybe I might be interested.
Right.
If both of you swipe right to each other, depending on the app, I have to say, depending on the app, but most apps, a conversation can be opened.
This was Tinder?
This was Tinder, yeah.
Okay.
A conversation opens, and you have a space where you can speak to each other.
Yeah.
But who's taking the first move? Who is going to say something first? Is someone going to say something at all? And
Right.
so very often you'll have empty matches where nobody's talking at all.
Ugh.
Yeah,
Whereas if you were in public or like out in the real world,
sure.
the real world um, analog to that, if that's the right word, is eye contact,
Yeah,
right? And it's hard to fake that. I'm interested in you because I keep looking at you.
for sure. For
You
sure.
know,
Yeah.
I just swiping is cheap. I can just do this all day long. You know,
Yeah.
I I
That's
heard, I read another stat that most people, I think it was men, were on the app 90 minutes a day,
oh wow, that's long.
an hour and a half,
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking swiping all day long.
And what happens as
chatting
well
as
is
well.
that also generalization obviously, but from the men that I've spoken to
Mm-hmm.
and women, what usually happens is that women actually swipe as like, I'm looking, what do I think? Men swipe everything to the right. And then whenever they have a match, they look and see, do I
Oh,
like this? And am I
mm.
going to speak to them?
That's a little cruel.
Very smart, but cruel.
Why smart?
Because you'll know who's interested in you and you have an opener if you want it versus I won't even get an opening.
Yeah, but if you're just
And
swiping, if you're just swiping everyone,
Mm.
even the people that you
don't
have
want.
no interest in at all,
Yeah.
what the hell was the point of that?
The point is
It's like,
that
maybe one day I will be interested in this person that I had no, like, it's so degrading.
no, the point of it is that every single I can pick who I want to talk to versus I have to wait and see if somebody wants to talk to me,
But that comes to the, it
which
goes
is
back to the point of like, this was clearly designed by a bunch of dudes who like don't want to put that much
so
effort
that's
into it.
funny why you would what you say now. And so Tinder was, as far as I know, one of the very first
Yeah.
apps. Um, and the founders, there was a group of founders,
Right.
whatever. One of them was a woman,
Right.
this Whitney girl, whatever.
Yeah.
And she didn't like how that went along and that it was a very masculine world and that it wasn't very female friendly.
She like accused one of the founders of sexual harassment.
Exactly.
Right. Who was an ex-boyfriend, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And so what she did is that she left and she started her own app, Bumble,
Right.
which is also supposedly one that is a lot more female friendly. It is also the app where it works a little bit different because you also swipe and you can also have the match. But when you have the match, the thing is that the woman always needs to talk first.
Oh.
Yeah. So
What's the logic behind that?
that the woman has the power at hand or whatever. And that I think and that there's not the misconception, well, not misconception, or the question of, oh, who's actually going to talk first, and are, because often it's like, oh, well, I'm not going to say anything first, that's to the man to do. The man needs to say something first. If
Yeah.
we match, it's obviously up to the guy to say something first.
Right.
Just like we're in a bar, we're making eye contact, it's up to him obviously to come up to me.
Right.
But at this app,
Yeah.
they made it this way that women always need to take the first step.
So I was listening to a podcast with Jordan Peterson and this, I think he was an anthropologist, or maybe he was like a biologist. I can't remember exactly what he does, but he studied sex differences between men and women.
Yeah.
Or attitudes to sex and the differences between men and women.
Mm.
And part of the reason why it's useful for men to approach women first,
Yeah.
is it transfers to other areas of life. In other words, for a man to approach a woman and to be not aggressive, but you know what I mean, like to go after her,
Sure.
right, to charm her, is indicative, perhaps, of how they will be, the approach that they will take to other opportunities in life.
Yeah.
Will they go for that job? Will they ask for that promotion? Will they, whatever, right? Try to make that really cool investment. Like
Yeah.
how eager are they?
Sure.
How persuasive are they?
Yeah.
Trying to make the sale. The
Yeah.
sale in this case being, you know, get landing a date with a woman, right?
Yeah.
And there's some logic to that, and it's now okay. Modern day culture, it's not as clear anymore. Like because women also, right? They need to be able to assert themselves in the workplace too.
Yeah.
So maybe it's good for them also to make that first move.
Yeah. That's
Um,
different nowadays.
but it's a weird. I mean, it's a compliment in a way, obviously, to if a woman approaches a man and says, "Would you like to go on a date?"
So that is so funny that you would say that, because I think that that's true. And from a guy that I've spoken to, and for instance, this guy that actually I met on an app and that I'm still sometimes in touch with,
Yeah,
we were actually discussing that, and he also said, like, of course, I want to know that the girl's interested. So if she shows me that, that's fine. But then obviously there's this thing that we've created, the hard to get, quote unquote, thing. Like, what, we have to be hard to get. It has to be the guy that has to pursue the woman.
So if you stick with the line of thinking, right, that I listened to on this podcast, the hard to get thing makes sense. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, but let's just stick with the man approaches the woman plays hard to get.
Yeah.
What she's saying is, no, 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 no. You got to work hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to work really hard. You got to be really smart. You got to show me that, and those are the same qualities that, generally speaking, lead to success in the modern workforce.
Yeah.
Or in other areas of life.
Yeah.
Even um, even with friendships, right? You've got to put some effort into it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to show that you care. You got to remember things like. So it's quite a useful game, I suppose, right? Because it is a game. Like yeah, I'm interested, but let's see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. But
and
common.
and the assumption is, which is also really cool, is that the woman says, "Okay, motherfucker, but this over here, this is worth $1 jillion.
Yeah.
So work like it like you're going for something that's worth $1 jillion.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Definitely. But it's just a common or not misconception, but that has to be the thing that the woman does, right? Like, only, or that you always have to play hard to get, and you can't show interest
Right.
because that is desperation.
But okay, now I'll use myself as an example. When I met Duff, I wasn't worth $1 jillion, right? I was barely figuring out what the hell I was supposed to do with my life,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that doesn't make any sense for me to be like, no, 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 I'm acting like I'm the CEO of Volkswagen or whatever, Not that make any sense. Like, yes, I understand what you're getting at, but thinking traditionally, it makes zero sense for me to behave that way.
But that is traditionally what
What do you mean?
traditionally Latino, because you're only worth something if you are worth money or value. Like, why would you be worth nothing? Like, even though, okay,
The-
sure, you were figuring yourself out, but as a person and your
Yeah.
personality and the heart and the whatever, you were worth a gazillion dollars.
Definitely, definitely. The tradition part, which I'm obviously conflicted about, but it's still useful to think about at least what our ancestors figured out, which is it's not the money that's important, but it's the ability to generate the money, right? Which is a signal of like I can. You're broadcasting. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. Security, right? But that's the traditional role of the male and the father. Right?
Sure.
We bring security
Sure.
to the family. Now, what's even crazier about that, right, is you say, "Don't worry, put your life in my hands,
Mm-hmm.
right? Spend your life with me," which is a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I mean, it's the biggest deal, right? It's the biggest deal that woman is ever gonna make,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Male, woman, it doesn't
Whatever.
matter, right? Partner, and um, don't worry about material want. I'll take care of that.
Yeah.
And also, don't worry about our kids thinking that it's going to be unstable. Like, it's going to be fine. Now, the crazy thing is, and this is what I'm starting to realize as a dad, is it's not fine. It's not fine. We're all going to die.
Sure. Yeah, that's the
all of
end.
us are going to die.
Yeah.
It is really not fine.
Yeah.
So you have to uphold essentially two illusions
Yeah.
as a man and as a father
Mm-hmm.
and as a husband, right? And so we've built up all this civilization, and like we have all these games, we have money, and the money is just a representation of, look, whatever the rules of the game are out in the world, we'll figure that shit out,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be fine until we're dead.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, like you said, that is how it always has been. And I get that. But are we still in that situation?
Yes and no, right? We're still the same animals, but the rules of the game are changing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So how come, like you said, I am worth so much, you have to fight for me, is mainly a thing that we think a woman needs to do
Yeah.
versus a man.
Well, I think men do it too, right?
But a lot less. Like
No.
a guy needs to show that they are interested, because otherwise you're out. If a woman shows they're interested, in a lot of cases, people feel like it shows that they are desperate.
I think the testing comes afterwards. So, what kind of a person are you going to be, and how hard are you going to work at this? Like, do you just expect me? Like, are you going to be a princess and expect me to do everything?
Mm-hmm.
And women, of course, are doing this too, right? They're testing, like, okay, are you a fucking child? Like, do I really have to? And women do this. Like, they're really, really good at this.
Yeah.
You know? I've met some of Das friends, and they're fucking sharp.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant. Like, once they explained this stuff to me, I was like, wow, it's so good, so smart. Like, they don't want to end up with a child.
No.
No one does, right?
No.
And so a man doesn't either, right?
Yeah.
They're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I can't do everything,
No.
No one wants to do everything. This is a team, And so you send those signals to each other. The initial interest between man and woman, I don't know. I don't know if there's what's the use of for a man playing hard to get at that point? Tell me. Do you think? It sounds like you're saying there's no value in it one way or the other.
I think there is, but that I want to believe that there isn't.
Mm.
I think the value is kind of creating the hunt,
Mm.
So like making the other person specifically, like, very consciously feel or think about whether this is really something they want or not, because I think that's what what happens when the other person plays hard to get. I think more so than if that's not the case, on the other side, you're thinking, okay, wait a minute, I'm just annoyed by this, and shut the fuck up, you, and I don't fucking care.
Mm-hmm. So that's
or
yeah.
Like, don't move away from me, and please, please, please stay.
Yeah. And there's also, now that I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about it more, is that if a guy does that, they play hard to get with a woman, they're engineering some sort of like, look, I'm really scarce.
Yes.
You're one in a million that are after me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it really fucking doesn't.
True. True.
And most of the time, it probably doesn't really work in a guy's favor.
No,
Look, Leonardo DiCaprio can play this game until the day he dies.
Yeah, or Brad Pitt.
Right. Because it's true. Millions of women would, I assume, judging by the results, want to be with those guys.
Yeah.
For most guys.
For most guys,
It's a
it
horrible
probably
game.
won't work. Yeah, probably. But that's funny, because I think maybe women can play it more easily because men are also used to it. But I also it really depends on who you are, right? Because
Yeah.
very general comment, obviously, but I think, for instance, American women
Mm-hmm.
are very good at this. They are just they always feel like they're the best. Like, oh, I'm so worth
Mm-hmm.
this, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to step up your game, and I'm worth
Yeah.
so much, and whatever.
Okay, but that's from a culture
Exactly.
that idolizes hard work
Yes.
and ambition,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so you want to be able to, tease out the monster inside all those guys and say, well, go show me that you're the next whatever business titan or whatever.
Sure.
I have no
Sure.
idea,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Um,
But for instance, for Dutch people, we we also like to work hard and be whatever, but we also like
but not
to
to that
be
extent.
humble and
Yeah.
you know
No, but you don't have the kind of characters and heroes and sort
no
of cultural icons that America does. No, no
no
one does,
no
right?
no. So that's
You don't
where
have a Kanye West.
we have Ali Bay. Oh no, not anymore. No, but um, no. So I think that's where it's very difficult. And coming back to that, I don't know if it's really of value to play hard to get or not, but I always find it super tiring and
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. I just hate it. Are you interested? Are you not interested? You're two adults. Just say what comes to your mind and what it is that you're
Yeah.
thinking. Like, why do we have to be like hard to get? And I've been in so many of these conversations, for instance, with Duff or whomever. It's like, okay, should I send a question? Oh my God, is he sending back a question? How long between these messages?
Yeah.
No, just no. But this is where on these apps where you don't know each other, but even if you've been on a date or two or three, and the contact after that, it's always this. So that's whether it's normal dating or online dating. But with online dating, it's so much more difficult because you don't know these people at all from the bat. You just start a conversation and you have no idea what to talk about. You have nothing. And so you don't know if there's interest. Is that hard? Is someone playing hard to get? Is someone just not interested?
Yeah.
You have no clue.
Because it's just you and the screen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's very hard. And that's why what I think it is fun is that they are trying to come up with new ways where it is online dating but different. Like, so for instance, during COVID, I think what some apps did is like they added a feature to their app where you can do like a FaceTime or whatever. So
Mhm.
if you both match and you both say yes, we want to, like, you get it on a FaceTime.
Whoa.
Yeah, super intense, right? And there's this other app um, in Holland, Breeze, and what happens is that you match, and if you match, then you are automatically, I think you get a couple of times and dates, and what happens is you don't talk to each other. So if you match with each other, you pay a fee, like you pay like $5 or $10 or whatever, and you both pick a time and a date, and they set up a date for you. And so you don't talk to each other, and you just meet each other there.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How do they you pay for someone to
So you
set up a
pay.
date?
No, so it's like an app. It's the same as any other app, but you
Yeah.
only have like 3 matches a day or 3 people a day.
Okay.
And so I get 3 people. I can say yes or no, but you're being a lot more careful than a Tinder, right? Where you're just swipe, 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 swipe.
Mhm.
Because if I swipe right and you swipe right, we have actually gone into an agreement that we're going on a date
Oh.
without talking to each other.
Okay.
And so
okay.
then if we
And you have to pay.
and you pay because you pay, and then the place where you meet, the app has an agreement with a couple of bars in Amsterdam or whatever, and so you
Oh.
set the time and the date, and they say, okay, that's the time and the date that both of you agreed on, and that's the cafe where you're expected,
Wow.
and you say that you come from our app and you get a drink,
Wow.
and that's what you basically pay for, and the
But that's really
service.
good.
Can be.
No, I mean it makes it much more serious, right?
It's a lot more serious,
Yeah.
yes. Um, I don't. Well, people could obviously do that if they just want to hook up, but I don't think that
Right.
a lot of people do.
I mean, the whole idea of a hookup is no strings attached, like cheap in a way, right? It's like
Yeah,
no effort at all. Like
exactly.
this is just a one night thing. I don't have to
Yeah,
put in real. I don't have to follow up. It's just
exactly.
one
But
night's
still,
work.
you're probably obviously meeting someone, right? Even if I just want to hook up, I'm still talking to you, and sure, sometimes it's really just hey, wanna fuck or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes it can be like, okay, hey, let's go for it on a date or whatever, and then you do go for a drink, but it's still just meant as a hookup.
Going into it.
Yeah, or from either side or from both sides. Yeah,
Mm.
could be.
Yeah.
So little effort, but not none
Right.
whatsoever.
Right. Right. Okay, but it's already an improvement.
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is, a step further again. So this with this app where you're just meeting someone without talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very interesting concept.
Did you ever pay for the apps?
Um, I did use that app. So I did go on a date once where we didn't talk on this app. So I did pay for that date, like I just explained.
Yeah.
For the drink. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
pretty much a blind date.
Yeah.
And
Ish. Yeah. Because you do see each other's profile, right?
yeah, but like okay, but the way blind dates used to work in the ancient times, right, was someone says, "Hey, listen, I know
I
this
know, John.
person.
Yeah.
Let me briefly describe this person to you. Will you go on a date?"
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
fine.
basically what it is. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Wow. And how did it go? Oh, clearly not great. His name isn't Dirk.
His name is not Derek. No. It was actually a really fun night, but it wasn't an ideal situation. It's really nice guy. Had a really fun evening, but it was during COVID,
Mm.
and it was just I think in the in between time where in Amsterdam we had the lockdowns and we had all the bars and restaurants closed, and then there was a couple of months that things were open,
Yeah.
and it was in that time, and I was very, very, very careful during COVID,
So you weren't
and
really relaxed.
I
guess.
wasn't super relaxed,
Yeah.
but I was having a really fun evening with this guy. I had super fun conversations, and so we went for those drinks there. And then he worked at a bar, so he said, "Oh, do you want to go to a bar after?" Um, and then we were both hungry, so actually we ended up going from a bar to dinner to his bar. It was a really fun night.
Mm-hmm.
But it was after a year or something that I hadn't been anywhere. So at the end of the night, I was drinking quite a bit, and I was just like, all of a sudden, I was feeling insanely anxious, and I thought, oh my god, I'm in between all these people, and holy fuck, oh my god, I'm getting COVID.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
So I was.
And for no, you also have asthma, so yeah.
Yeah.
Fucks with your
So
brain.
yeah, exactly. So that fucked up the entire evening for
Yeah,
me, and
yeah.
I wasn't feeling that, but had nothing to do with him. Actually, it was a lot of fun, but because of that, I was just like, okay, this was a fucked up experience. I don't want to think about it ever again. Leave me the fuck alone.
Wow.
And I think what was difficult about it was that
Well, now if this guy by some miracle is watching this, he's like, oh, okay.
that's why. No, I told him. I told
Oh,
him.
you don't?
Yeah, I told him. No, I completely told him because it really wasn't his fault. And but what made it even more nerve wracking was that we had set a date, and then so you don't talk to each other except for they open a chat. I think like 15 minutes before the date, just for like
Oh,
if you're late or
logistics,
just
yeah.
so that you can say something to that person,
Mhm,
right?
mhm. Oh, so what if? So if they cancel for any legitimate reason, you only find out 15 minutes before?
Right. So what happens is that you have that date and time set, and if something happens, if you want to change it, you
Oh,
can
okay.
let someone know by saying I need to take a rain check or whatever.
You
And
talk
then
via the app.
you don't talk yet. You can only say I have to reschedule or
No,
whatever.
I'm saying like through the app, you tell the app, hey,
Exactly,
I
through
can't.
the app.
Okay.
And so that actually happened. So he actually wanted to reschedule when we had set a date, and I
Mhm.
was like, okay, it's kind of annoying, and I heard the day before or something.
Yeah.
But fine, okay, let's reschedule. Who cares? So then we rescheduled, and I was like, okay, that is interesting. And then I saw with this reschedule, he could leave a note, and he said, coming back or like having car trouble coming back from a festival in Germany, something like that.
Okay.
But I only read that later when I said,
Mm.
okay, cool, let's reschedule for this day. And then I read that and I thought, what the fuck? This guy's at a festival.
Right.
It's COVID. No, 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 no.
Also, he's got a date.
No, he had car trouble. He was going to be back on time, but because of the car trouble, whatever, I don't care. But what happened
Yeah.
for me was that I had already rescheduled, and you can't talk to someone. And I was like, wait, I want to know about, like, did he test himself, like,
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
So I actually called the customer service of this app, like, can
Ah.
you please give me his contact information? This is the story. I want to see what is happening. And they said, no, we can't do that.
Oh no.
So it totally fucked up the entire thing for me. So I already went into it anxiously. And then,
Okay.
yeah.
God, yeah. So speaking of like, origin stories, that is not the well, maybe that's the greatest
The
origin story.
greatest ever. Totally. Would have
I was
been.
on the phone with customer service when I met your dad. It's
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah, really funny. Yeah. So yeah, that's also a way to do it. And
Yeah.
so yeah, there's all these different types, right? This is also an interesting other way to do it, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. So okay, but otherwise you never paid for any of these apps, any of these services.
I don't think I paid one more time for oh yeah, that was you on Bumble. Bumble's the one that I used most, I think.
Okay.
You can pay a little extra to do like travel mode. So
Oh, so if you're in a different country.
correct.
Okay,
So
okay.
I was at home and I was gonna go here for holiday,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone was like, "Oh yeah, let's take a look at what the guys there." And then you have to pay to be on. Okay, I'm in Tel Aviv and I
Mhm.
want to swipe around in Tel Aviv already.
Okay.
And so you can then swipe and already start some conversations and be like, "I'm gonna be in town next week," for instance.
Yeah.
But
So
that's all.
that would be a cool story if that were the case.
Yeah,
Like you met on a vacation through the app,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, very.
Because
romantic.
that's just that's no, really, that's taking a chance. Like
Sure.
you don't know any of like what is it, what does this person's daily life look like, and who does this person surround themselves with? Like it's foreign, you know?
Sure. Yeah. And that's funny because I know I haven't done it often. I have sometimes, but also when I'm on holiday, then sometimes you can just go and swipe and you can meet people, right? Like when I was on Bali by myself.
Yeah.
Okay, you go on Tinder and you just okay, I'm fine, and let's go for a drink tonight. One of my colleagues, my old colleagues, friends, he used to do that all the time. He did have a paid subscription for Tinder, and we used to travel a lot for work together,
Mhm.
and he would swipe all the time. It's like, okay, I'm going to be in Barcelona next week. Okay, I'm going to go on a date there. Okay, I'm going to be in Vilnius the week after. Okay, going to swipe there all the time.
Yeah. But the chances of a awkward date are much higher.
Why? Maybe a successful long term are lower, but
No,
why
no.
more awkward?
What if you end up going out with someone and you have nothing to talk about?
What if you end up going out with someone in Amsterdam where I live and you have nothing to talk about? Same thing, no?
Yeah, but okay, but still, like,
Way more awkward. I can see them in the supermarket. Like, holy fuck, I don't want to see you.
I see. Okay, fair point.
Like, I go on a date on Bali. We go for a drink. You're fucking boring. I'm going to leave. I'm never going to see you again.
Yeah. So do you feel that on those trips, on those kinds of dates, you take more risks, you take more chances? Not like I'm gonna have sex with everyone I see, but more like I'm gonna show a side of my personality that doesn't usually make an appearance in dates in where I'm from.
Probably, yeah. Just
Yeah?
because you already go into it knowing like this is not going to be anything. I'm just looking for someone to have a drink with or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe you just don't want to have dinner alone tonight, but it could have well just been, oh hey, are you having dinner alone? Do you want to eat together?
Yeah.
Whatever, fine. Like you're traveling, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, for sure, you don't have to be your best self.
Um, and do you think that those dates went better? I guess because of that, because you let loose. It's hard to say, I suppose, because you've got all kinds of dates.
Not better, but easier.
Because you just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which, if it's easier, then I suppose it's better, right? At least you don't have all the fucking anxiety that's
Sure.
going around it. No.
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah. I think no, for sure. I think it's easier, less anxiety, which makes it what can make it more fun.
Yeah.
Just more loose or whatever. And
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
maybe better.
fast forward 20 years, you and Derek have a girl.
Whoa.
What do you think? Would you advise her to do it? Would you like what the apps, like whatever form they take, I suppose at that point. Do it, don't do it.
Yeah, why not?
I'll tell you why I ask, because they're first of all, it's intrinsically interesting, I think, but um, there was this woman in America, in some American college. She put up some video, I think it was on TikTok, where she's crying her eyes out because she's holding up a picture of herself as a little girl,
Mm.
and she's like, you know, she's basically saying that the way, the hookup culture and all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that's going on here, I never wanted for a little innocent girl like this
Mm-hmm.
to have gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was herself,
Sure.
right? But the message being,
Yeah.
All moms, protect your girls from, at least send them out to the world prepared for what's possible, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to like give me a firm answer. We can work our
No.
way through it, but
No,
because it's tough, it's really tough. Like as you said, right? 40% of American couples, who knows what the number will be far higher.
Far higher. Far.
20 years from now.
I think there's a couple of things, right? So what you're saying, and I 100% get that, and I think the most important thing about dating in general, whether it's online, offline, whatever it is to be safe.
Yeah.
And that is where the man versus woman things always comes into play, right? So, and what is interesting to me is what this woman is saying is, of course, very, very true. And yes, the apps probably make it easier to have this hookup culture, but it's always been here. And it's not going to cease to exist, whether it's on an app or not, right? And I think about meeting people in bars can also very often is just a hookup. Meeting people in a sorority, whatever.
Yeah.
Jesus, everyone hooks up with everyone, and they don't call tomorrow, and they're telling all their guy friends that this girl's a slut in that house and whatnot.
Yeah.
That does not, in my mind, that has nothing to do with online dating.
So let me try to make a connection and see if you agree. And by the way, I'm obviously being a hypocrite here to some degree, right? Because I was young once, I wasn't married once.
You were one of those assholes.
Yeah. I mean, look, I never did anything that, let's say, would land me in jail or anything like that. But no, sometimes I just wasn't nice.
Sure.
Really not nice.
Abercrombie and Fitch.
Fuck off. Fuck you. Um,
Those are the guys, you know it, the preppy guys.
for anyone that doesn't know, because who the fuck would know? I worked a few summers at Abercrombie and Fitch. Yes, yes. Okay, I was the one spraying cologne on the mannequins. Yes, yes. I was folding the clothes. I was folding mountains of clothes of overpriced. Yes, okay, that was me. That was me. Anyway, but yeah, so I on the one hand, I think that there's something really cool about having sex with only one person. That's not me. I obviously didn't do that, and I'm happy with my choice. But like, let's say if you really only had sex with one person your entire life, it's cool because it just through time it sex becomes something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's first it's lust, and then it's like it's an expression of love, and then I mean it's always an expression of love, but it's just something else. You know, it's the most carnal act that we can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the most intense feeling that we have. Like what else comes even close? And to share that with only one person
Mm-hmm.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, again, I don't want to fucking do that, or I didn't do that, but I can see the beauty in it. Um. So, um, what were we talking about? I lost my train of thought.
About
Oh,
uh,
making the
ho-
connection between so hookup culture that's been there for around that's been there for a while, and the apps. So the loosening of sexual mores, as you and I are both testament to, right?
mhm.
We've hooked up with more than one person over the course of our lives, has been going on for a while. The apps supercharge that,
Yeah.
and and if we continue down that path, I don't know what the consequences of that are. And here's just one other data point for you to think about, I guess, which is I was listening to a YouTube uh, video on the Tinder
Mm-hmm.
Tinder economic model,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes money by keeping you on the app.
Yeah.
It's incentivized to keep you on the app, not for you to find a mate, because once you find a mate, you have no need for Tinder anymore.
Yeah.
That's a conflict of interest. You're there to find love.
Yeah.
You're not there to fucking swipe the rest of your damn life.
Yeah.
So the incentives are misaligned there
Yeah.
between the user and the company.
Sure.
So it it um, it's sort of rooting for bad sexual interactions between men and women,
Yeah.
or unsuccessful ones.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas Hinge, for instance, have as their motto the app that I think it's something like the app that we want you to delete as soon as possible or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that true? Do you feel like I've never? I have
No,
no
it's the same.
clue.
The same. The same. They're all the same ish.
Well,
But
no. Hinge the one that was $5
no,
for the date? No,
that's Breeze. It's
Breeze.
again another one. Yeah.
Breeze. But that actually sounded not bad.
No, it's
At
not
least
bad.
a step in the right direction.
I think so.
like,
So. Yeah.
Put up some money.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, put your money where your mouth
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
To just meet each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Put some effort into it.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly. Exactly. No, but I guess what you're saying is true. That that hookup culture gets worse or gets made easier, if you will, by those apps. And I also don't know what the impact will be of that in the future
Yeah.
if more people are meeting on there. I don't know, but
Yeah. I guess the hope is that maybe 20 years from now, someone will have figured it out and aligned the incentives correctly. That's the hope, I guess.
maybe yeah, but I think I don't know, but I can't help but just wonder if the apps would have never existed in the time of our parents or you or you know, maybe not our parents, maybe difficult or different, but that hookup culture was also there and it was going to carry on anyway.
Yeah.
So is that really the thing that you need to fix? Or I mean, I understand it's funny that you would say like, okay, so in 20 times you 20 years you have a daughter, would you recommend? Like kind of right back at you, would you recommend your three boys to do it or what would you tell them, right? Because what I think is that it has very little to do with the apps and I hookup culture is one thing and I think that if people are aligned about what is happening, that's the most important thing. I like I said, met guys on the app. They were very clear about, okay, well, I'm not ready for a relationship or
Yeah.
whatever, but we can go on a date. We can go on a couple of dates. And
Yeah.
I knew that and that was fine.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is consent. And that is, I think, the most important thing. Although, of course, we know that in our own ways as humans, right? Women are just a little more emotional and they tend to maybe get into this more emotionally than
Yeah.
guys, and so it's easier for guys not to feel anything with it, but and than
Yeah.
for women. But
And there's also the time pressure on women.
there's
Right?
the time
Like
pressure.
I don't have time to be wasting with these fucking children.
No,
I
no,
gotta find someone serious.
exactly. So
If that's what they want, right?
yeah, so it's a couple of things. It's the time sensitivity, it's the emotions, and for me, a very very big thing is like the safety and the consent and the honesty
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
which I think is something that is not yet figured out completely. I mean, I know friends that have had really really bad experiences.
What do you mean, like they've been raped or something?
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
Wow.
And
How do you recover from that?
yeah, good question. You
Yeah.
just carry on. I mean, it's then a question, what do you want to do with it? Because you know who this guy is. You agreed to go on a date with him.
Mm.
You agreed to go for a drink.
Yeah.
You agreed to go after the drinks to go back to his place. You know exactly who he is. You know exactly where he lives. You know everything about him ish. It's up to you. Do you want to go to the police? Do you not want to go to the police?
Yeah. No, but
Do you ever want to go back on the apps because are you fucking scared to do that? Like,
yeah.
and that happens, and there is currently no real way to then say, okay.
It's also, I can understand why people would be traumatized by that because, that is such a horrible abuse of someone's trust in
Yeah.
humanity, basically.
Yeah,
How can you ever trust a man again?
for sure.
Horrible.
But the thing is, and this is coming back to that, would you recommend? For sure, it's so bad that that happened, but I'm also not going to be the one to say that's because of this app that makes it so much easier. Easier, I don't know. They could have also met at a bar and the same thing could have happened.
So, okay. So you asked me a question, right, about my boys, right?
Yeah.
First of all, in my house, at least in my mind, maybe Duff will think differently, but they're going to fucking chivalry school,
Yeah.
There are going to be 3 gentlemen that come out of that house. No question about it. And the underlying ethic there is you treat people, but obviously women as well. Women are people.
Sometimes.
You treat everyone with respect.
Yeah.
Okay? Women, especially that you're thinking about being romantically involved in, are not numbers. They're not a passing swipe here and there.
Mm-hmm.
On the other end of that screen is a person with feelings and a story and ambitions and wants and needs, and it's all valid. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to then marry yourself to the first person you date, but treat that person with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And the apps, they blur all that because all you see is a picture on a screen. You don't see the person on the other end of it.
No.
Now, it could be that you educate your kids in such a way that, look, use the apps, but behave like a fucking gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Don't send dick pics without people asking for them. For instance, I mean, I
Those are
don't
my
know.
kids you're talking about, man.
I
Come
don't know
on.
what they're gonna do. They're part you. They're part their mom. I don't know what.
What? What does that mean?
No, 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 no. I mean,
Do I look
but
like a dick pic guy?
no, not really.
Now I don't know if should be insulted
I
or
mean,
not.
I always say you guys just need to, spice that up sometimes. Just do it. Just be at the office and just go. No, but I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do, right? You can be. What? I
Go
don't
on.
know what they. Yeah, I think being chivalrous, but is one thing, and then you're also a boy or a horny teenager or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Tell me
And
about it. I grew up in a house where chivalry was a thing.
yeah,
My father insisted you have to pay for every time you take out a girl. You are taking out a girl. It's
yeah,
your invitation.
yeah,
Take it seriously.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
treat her nicely. Open the car door. Like do all those things.
yeah. And
Um,
you grew up with two sisters,
also.
maybe also helped.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
So that was in the air and obviously the example that I had was my father and the way he treated my mother. There was no, you know, my father has some old fashioned things here and there, but he really did treat my mother with respect.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
um, so um, that and despite all that, I was part of the hookup culture. You
Sure.
know, and I was not nice to some girls.
Mhm.
Um, really, just not emotionally, not a very nice guy,
Yeah.
right? And you're stupid at that age. You know, you do stupid shit. You say stupid things. You behave in a really stupid way. So
Mhm.
even someone like myself that was educated in a nice environment for this kind of stuff
Yeah.
did some fucked up shit,
Yeah.
right?
Do you feel sorry for it?
Yeah, yeah. It's come on. It's look. I'll give you an example. This is the worst thing I did. Okay, my first girlfriend was not Jewish. And in my house, it was drilled into our heads: you're gonna marry it. You have to end up with a Jewish person,
Yeah.
otherwise we won't accept it. Da, 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 da. Now I don't know if that was emotional bullying. I don't know if they meant it, but whatever.
Yeah.
That was always in the back of my mind. And so
Yeah.
I met her. I really liked her. She was like my first girlfriend, like first real girlfriend. Um, and but always in the back of my mind, it's like, well, this is not gonna end up in anything. And she obviously, I caught feelings for her, but I didn't love her. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I just dragged it out, or I would ignore her and sort of keep her as an option. Like terrible, right? That's
Yeah.
not a way to treat someone.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't do anything that would land me in jail, thankfully, right? At least in that regard, I was fine.
Yeah.
But um, you know, that's not a way to treat someone,
No.
right? Um, so the apps, I don't know. I don't know.
You can be chivalrous on the apps. You can be chivalrous on the date that you go on
Yeah,
after that.
yeah, I would hope so. Yeah. Do you think it's like it's part of the process that you have to make both men and women have to make those mistakes early on to then understand later on what are the things you don't like? For example, you go through school when you're a kid and you say terrible things to other kids,
Mhm.
and then you see the hurt on their face, like, "Ooh, actually, I shouldn't do that anymore."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you don't do that anymore
Learn
because
from your
right?
mistakes.
Ask anyone what's the worst thing they've ever done in their lives, and almost everyone will say something that they did when they were a kid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm embarrassed about some of the things that I said and did as a kid.
Mhm.
I would never do those things now,
No.
or I would at least I hope I wouldn't. And I'm sure the same is true for most people.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I think that they have to learn from their mistakes, and I do think I'm just it's so interesting because every time I come back, it seems to be like I'm trying to be the voice of men.
Well, so am I.
No, because just I just want to think that not even after all my bad experiences,
Yeah.
I just want to think that not all of them are bad.
Yeah.
And also, you can be a gentleman and you can be, chivalrous, or you can be whatever. But whatever happens to me or to women, or how I experience is, like I said,
No.
um, I swipe and I have no conversation. No, people don't even talk to me. Or I start talking to someone and I've asked something and I get no response, and I'm ghosted. Or
No.
that happens to them as well, and
Yeah.
they can be super chivalrous and
Yeah.
try to come in with a nice opener, and then I see it and I think, oh, actually, why did I swipe right on you? Never fucking mind. And that happens to them as well. So just as for me, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment,
Yeah.
that can be the case for them as well.
Sure.
And that's where these apps are. It's I don't remember if I said that to you. There's this dating guru guy for women, Matthew Hussey, and he's always trying to give like advice to women about dating and about how to. He has this book, How to Get the Guy, and stuff.
He's
And
mansplaining dating.
yes, exactly. And
But you like it.
he's very on point, and it's very agreeable. Like it's very like, oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my god, yes. This is exactly what's happening. Oh my god, yes,
Mhm.
that's what I should be doing. Oh my god,
Mhm.
yes.
Mhm.
But he said in this podcast too with another guy, he about online dating is that people that are using those apps are not experiencing it as a sea of opportunities, but an endless sea of disappointment, because it's like time after time after time after time you're trying to be vulnerable, you're trying to be open, you have your hope,
Right.
and again,
Right.
ugh, again, no response, again, ghosted, again,
Right.
no conversation, again, nothing, nobody that asks me out on a date, again, nothing.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is true for both sides.
Yeah.
And I can totally imagine that gets your hopes down, like that
Yeah.
fucks up your hopes as a woman, but also as a guy.
Right.
And if you are one of those good guys and not just there for a hookup culture, because then who cares? And you ask, hey, want to fuck? Or you open with a dick pic and you get no
Has
response.
that really happened to you?
Yes.
How many times?
As an opening, not often, but as like a third message, more often.
You're joking.
No. It happens.
And what?
It happens.
And, then-
Yeah.
and what's the intended result there? Like, you're supposed to be impressed.
You're supposed to be
Look
impressed.
at those veins. Wow.
Whoa, damn. Look at that foreskin. No, I don't. You're just like, you're supposed to be impressed. You're supposed to be, I don't know, just like, oh, damn, yeah, I want some of that. Or kind of like, let's meet up. Or because
so
I'm
funny.
sure that there's,
Does that work?
for some women, of course. I think that for some women that are looking exactly for that, they're
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. This guy is down. Let's
Okay,
go.
But seriously, imagine though that, like, that to me is horrifying. That if one of my sons, all right, basically sent a woman a picture of flesh
Yeah.
and said, "You do the math.
Yeah.
Let's go."
Yeah.
Without any other context, man, that's horrifying.
It's a thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. Yeah, it's
Oh,
not
God.
great. Yeah, there's not a lot that you can say to that. It just
we men are really just so
my
we're useless.
one of my friends has come up with a really great really great way, because what she then does is takes those she's kind of good at drawing, so she takes the dick pics and then she draws like little smileys and faces on the dick and like a hat on it and sends it back or whatever.
Sends it back to the guys.
Yeah, that's then the response. And like, yeah. And then they usually have nothing to say anymore. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I once saw this woman that then replied, I think I have to go to the police. Why are you sending me child pornography?
Oh.
And they're gone.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I bet you that guy doesn't send any dick pics anymore
No, probably
to
not.
strangers.
No, probably not. No. Yeah. No, but that happens. And then, yeah, so I think, I don't know, coming back to
Yeah.
yeah, you would not want your daughter to go through that. No.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I get there must be a way to prepare them for that. Like that attitude that friend of yours, you
Mm.
know, who either put smiley faces on the penises
yeah,
or the one who made that really cruel joke about the guy's dick size.
yeah.
You know, it sounds like those they know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, they're
They know how to
amazing.
handle these idiots.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, exactly. But you learn through experience, right?
Mhm.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure that and these are like tough, fun girls, but
Yeah. But where do they get that tough, fun part
yeah,
for their personality?
well, because they've gone through this and because they've needed to create some sort of, protection or coping mechanism for those situations. And
Interesting.
that's the way to cope with it.
So not necessarily innate or something from the house, but it's just dealing with this bullshit for so
Probably
long.
partially, but
Yeah.
also
Mhm.
having to deal with
Mm.
bullshit. And this is the way to go because, you can be insanely shocked and say, oh, what are you doing? And why would you do that? Nothing's going to happen. So just
Yeah.
kill him with, humor or something, I guess. But like, yeah. So, but that is the question, right? So how are you going to prepare anyone for that? And how, I don't know. You tell
Yeah.
me. How are you going to prepare your kids for that?
Look.
Because they're the ones that need to not do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No. At some point, look, I can only I can only impart whatever values I can.
Yeah.
Right. It's up to them to listen. You know. And I'm obviously not gonna be, if that's the case, still 20 years from now,
Yeah.
in charge of their Tinder X or whatever the hell it's gonna be back in those years. I'm not gonna be in charge of that. Like that's their thing, you know,
Mhm.
and it's up to them to follow their conscience. Essentially,
Yeah.
is this the right thing to do or is it not?
Yeah.
And part of it is innate. You know, some people are just more prone to doing that, and some of it isn't. You
Yeah.
know, some of it is like, well, I understand that this is not the way it should be done.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Are you happy that you're out of the game?
Very. So happy.
Can I tell you something? So the first thing I thought, I'll remember this, was that when I heard that things were serious with Derek,
Yeah.
I was like, you're my hero.
Him.
You.
Oh. Why?
Because, you know, you put up with a lot of bullshit and you kept on getting back up and you found something.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You know, like how many times were you just lost hope?
Often.
Often,
Very,
right?
very, very often.
Like there must have been times where you thought, it's never gonna happen for me. I'll be alone the rest of my life. You know, no one likes me. All this nonsense, right?
Yeah, totally.
And you got up.
Yeah.
Off the mat.
Yeah.
It's like life kept punching you. You fucking got back up. I can take it.
I guess, yeah.
No, not I guess.
mean,
That's the story.
That's the story. I mean, that just makes it sound so
Corny American.
depressing and so like
Why?
my life is so difficult, I mean, I have
Man,
a lot.
that's hard.
No, it is. I mean, I'm very lucky with, a lot of things in my life that just never was working out. And just keep on trying and trying and trying. Yeah, it sucks the energy out of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
it can be fun, but most of the time it's just so tiring. And so,
Yeah.
like he's, it's just disappointment after disappointment, and
Yeah.
nobody likes to be disappointed. Nobody likes
Yeah.
to be rejected, and that's harsh. It's
Yeah.
difficult, but
Like I'll go dark on you right now for a second. Sometimes I think about when is it time to die,
mm,
and it's got to be the moment in your life where you think I've got nothing else to fight for.
yeah,
It's just everything, nothing's working. Nothing, there's no horizon. I'm
sure,
tired.
yeah,
I'm just so exhausted of all the no's and everyone telling me I'm an idiot or this or
mm-hmm.
and you've just got no belief left in yourself to to have a better existence,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, you could be 80 years old and your fucking body hurts and you're just like, you know what, fuck this shit.
It's over. Yeah,
Enough.
yeah, 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 yeah,
My dick doesn't work.
yeah,
I'm done.
yeah,
What else? Like my kids are all in good shape.
yeah,
This isn't life, right?
yeah,
But if you're like 45 and alone, and you're staring down the barrel the rest of your life, you're like, what else?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
rough, man.
yeah, for sure.
That's rough.
It's very rough, and I think that, yeah, that's what you said before as well, that a lot of things came into play this lifetime. That's and it, for a lot of women around me that I know as well.
Yeah.
That time pressure really does not help at all.
No.
Um,
Well, yes and no, right? Because you can't
I
keep doing this
mean,
shit forever.
no, but
Why?
that
Why?
makes
Imagine an eternity of online dating. Fuck that.
yes, fuck that for sure, fuck that. Mm, but I think I don't know if I would rather do it with less rush and anxiety in my
Mm.
mind that I
Mm-hmm.
need to,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just you can't start something in peace ever, ever, because I think women are already thinking that they are running out of time,
It's crazy.
and they're already starting thinking that at like 25, right?
Yeah. Wow. 25? That's when it begins?
I mean, it depends per person, right? But and I know this is not a real thing to look at, but you watch these like dating shows online. Do you know how many like 25-year-olds are on there? And it's like, oh, I'm looking for my life's partner or
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I want to get going. This is a time that people already are thinking about it, and it's also the time that you need to, if you actually want to be in time, like you have so much time still left, right?
Yeah.
Sure, you can have a kid when you're 44, maybe.
Yeah.
Um, but the odds are a lot lower.
Yeah.
And so
Science is science, man. It's fucking
yeah,
it's brutal.
and I think
Brutal.
I mean I was listening to your last episode,
Okay.
and yeah, I mean you hear the pain in her like voice, and it's so familiar, right?
Yeah.
I think that this
Yeah.
is the same for so many women, and
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
just with the side note that obviously not everyone wants kids, and that's totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
I'm getting a little tired of all these like things that I have to sort of caveat everything. Like I know that
sure,
not
if
everyone.
only, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
It's like I get it.
yeah.
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Let's say in general, like, but if you do
Yeah.
want kids, and you're getting to that age and have been on these apps for I don't know how many years,
Yeah.
then you think every single day, and that's just fucked up. But
Yeah.
every single time you really do think, I don't have time for this. I
Yeah.
need to know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that does not make it very romantic either.
But what makes you my hero, and I mean this genuinely, is it's just like Sarah, is that you both know that the only choice you have is to keep going. What else are you gonna do, right?
Give up.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's funny that you would say that because I was listening to her, and I think maybe 4 times out loud I said, "Girl, just stop and start your life and just live your life. This woman has not seen her family for so long. You don't know when you can travel because maybe this. Oh my God, live your life. Oh my God." You know?
She said explicitly though that she was put on this earth to be
Yeah,
a mother.
I know. Yeah,
That
sure.
is her life.
That's her life, and that is what she wants to do. And all the respect to that, because
Yeah.
Jesus, wow, so much respect.
She's a gangster, man. I told it to her. I told her.
Definitely.
Yeah.
No, but so yeah, I think that another option is to give up, and to just give up sounds so bad, but I think
To not put yourself through that
maybe,
pain.
and I don't know if that would be weak, but after X amount of time and X amount of disappointments and X amount of just frustration,
Yeah.
then maybe you would just be fine with, okay, I'm just going to take it as it is. I'm living my life like I am, but I'm going to make it work this way, that by myself it's good enough,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
it's enough for me to have great dinners with friends and be Tante Rose and, just like whatever. For
But
sure.
you didn't do that,
No.
and now you have matching sweatshirts with some dude that you just so happen to remember everything that happened 3 years ago in some random ass house.
True. Yeah. True. Yeah.
You're my hero.
And
mean
you're
it.
mine.
Oh.
Just an example you guys set.
What do you mean? You guys.
You and your wife.
Oh, I thought I
Not
thought I
you
was the
men.
hero.
You men. Ugh, no. No. No.
Yeah.
As a couple, I think it's definitely an example of what you want your relationship to look like, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's many couples that I don't want to be like, or that I think, oh my God, do you want to be in this relationship?
Yeah.
But so easy to also say that from outside of the relationship, right? You're not in it. So,
Yeah.
but that's never a feeling I've had with you guys. No.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky, man. If you really think about, you know, your life and attaching yourself um to one person for the majority of it, and to go through the most amazing experiences you'll ever get to go through with that person by your side, um I'm extremely lucky,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would say the same. um
I think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I've got some work to do.
Doesn't everyone?
um she let's end like this. She played a little hard to get with me.
Yeah.
She knows she's worth it. Fucking bitch. Love you, dog.
I think that's the power. If you know it and believe it.
Yeah, yeah. She's, like I said, when I met her, she's well put together. You
Yeah.
know, now I gotta earn it.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's a good lesson.
Yeah. No, and I'm look. It's not an attitude that I think I'm the only one that has. Like that's, I'm not the first one to come to this conclusion.
No.
You know, and I bet you there's a lot of people that you've seen, a lot of couples that also feel the same way.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
there's only a range of attitudes you can have to your spouse.
Yeah.
Um, and this is the one I took for mine.
Yeah.
You know.
I take it as an example. One of them.
One of them. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Love you, Rose.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for doing this with me.